In the way she dressed, the way she looked, and the way she was treated, Trish was forced by her father to live as a boy. His abuse left her feeling rejected and confused and set her up for a future filled with pain.
This is where you'll feel loved. This is who you are. You were born this way, and God has to love you this way. You can't change. And I embraced that lie.
Trish Choike was 22 when she gave in to the feelings she had been fighting since she was 10. The youngest of 5, she was the victim of an abusive father who forced her to live as a boy in the way she dressed, the way she looked, and how she was treated.
And I was physically beaten. I was punched and hit in the face, abused even at 11, 12 years old. He always used to say, "You're stupid, you're never going to amount to anything. I wish you were not born." Going to school, wearing boys' clothes, and I felt that rejection, and I felt different.
There were only 2 places Trish felt safe: at church, where she went with her mother and siblings, and with her older stepbrother, her protector and friend, until he committed suicide when Trish was 12.
The pain was so great. I could never really describe in words how that was. It was the worst pain I ever went through. It was that point that I turned from God.
Drugs and alcohol soon entered her life. They helped suppress the pain and a growing attraction to girls. Despite attempts by her mother and sister Ruth to get her to look and act like a girl, Trish couldn't shake the identity her father had forced on her.
I felt unloved. I didn't fit in. I held that in, and I had rage. I was angry all the time. I fought with other kids.
At 18, she married a man just to get out from under her father's rule. The 4-year marriage was rife with physical violence from both of them. It ended with Trish being thrown through a 90-gallon fish tank. Soon after, at 22 years old, Trish took on the identity of a man, changing her appearance, her mindset, and sexual pursuits.
I lusted after women. I was obsessed with being in their life. I also was obsessed with what a man should be like and what a man wasn't like in my life. And so I set out that I was going to be that man to them, that I was going to love these women the way that they should be loved.
Over the next 14 years, Trish's life consisted of sex, failed relationships, addiction to drugs and alcohol, lost jobs, and a suicide attempt. In her mind, there was only one outcome, one she couldn't escape.
You're going to hell. There's nothing you can do about it. You've lived your life this way, and that's it. And I would wake up with the shakes and the tremors, and I would grab that bottle, and I would chug it down just to hope that it would just dilute these thoughts in my head and this terror and this panic, and it would do nothing.
In all those years, her mom, brother, and sister Ruth were praying constantly.
God, please, go after her. I know you love her. Save her. She was just going down a bad road, and we feared for her life.
By the start of 2010, a 38-year-old Trish was still battling addiction and engaged to a woman. Then, in March, her mother died. 2 weeks later, Trish was hospitalized with severe kidney and liver problems. Now, facing her mortality, she called Ruth.
She was crying, and I was like, "Where are you?" And she's like, "I'm in the hospital, and the doctors are saying I'm gonna die. Ruth, I don't want to die." And I was like, "You are not going to. You're not going to die. You call out on Jesus. You call on the Lord, and He is going to save you.
And He'll hear you." So I hung up the phone. I said, "God, you gotta help me, because I don't want to die this way." And in that moment, right after I said that, I felt this heat, this warmth, this peace, this fire shoot through my entire body, from my head to my feet, and it just kept coming. More, more, more. All those years that I didn't feel God, I felt Him in that moment.
After Trish recovered, she broke off her engagement. She never used drugs or alcohol again. She also started going to church, where she surrendered her life to Jesus Christ.
Joy just began to come in my life. Purpose came in my life from him. I knew that every lie that I believed, everything I believed, it was buried now that I came to guys. Like, I would wake up on that joy that I'm saved, I'm really saved, I'm not going to hell, and God really saved me. I began to feel that just love of the Father.
Trisha's journey to healing wasn't over yet. She says it came to an end one day after her pastor prayed for her.
God spoke to me that I'm your Heavenly Father who truly loves you, who has never left you. And in that moment, he said, I am healing your childhood. I'm healing all your hurt. When he healed all of that, it took away from me every desire for the same-sex attraction. It really did.
The following year, in 2011, Trish married Jack. They're both grateful for the love of Christ that reaches out, rescues, and heals those in pain.
My confidence is in him. It wasn't in the masculinity, the things that almost killed me in my life. But my identity is in him, and that I was beautiful in his sight.
You know, one of the things that we love about babies